Welcome to AudioCert, where the official study guides are brought to life, and welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a pretty crucial journey. We're looking at the very first steps of ethical hacking. That's EC Council, CEHv13, Module 2, all about footprinting and reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Think of this as like the digital detective's initial stakeout, meticulously gathering every scrap of information before even thinking about knocking on the door.
Exactly.
It's not just about the technical skills, is it? It's mastering the art of, well, covert information gathering. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's truly foundational here, and this often dictates the entire success, really, of any ethical hacking engagement, is this initial stage. Footprinting, or you might hear it called reconnaissance, it's the preparatory phase. You're aiming to collect the maximum possible information about your target before you even consider launching an attack.
Right.
The ultimate mission, to construct a comprehensive security profile blueprint of the target organization. And this isn't random guesswork. It's a highly methodical process designed to leave no digital stone unturned.
That's right. And for you, our listener, by the end of this deep dive, you'll not only understand the core concepts and the methodologies, but also get a clear picture of the powerful tools involved, and critically, the countermeasures organizations can actually implement to defend themselves. We're going to try and make these complex topics come alive with, real-world analogies and insights that hopefully stick. So let's imagine our target today is a fictional tech company. Let's call them Horizon Innovations. We'll see how an ethical hacker would begin to build their intelligence profile on them. Okay, let's kick off with why. Why is footprinting so incredibly crucial? Picture yourself maybe planning a major expedition into unknown territory.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just wander in blindly, right?
Definitely not.
You'd scout the area, study maps, identify potential entry points, understand the terrain, and, anticipate pitfalls. For an ethical hacker, footprinting is precisely that. It's the attacker's preparatory phase. It's about accumulating enough information to, easily find ways to intrude into Horizon Innovations' network long before any direct attack is even launched.
Exactly. The necessity of this phase is genuinely hard to overstate. It's not simply collecting raw data, like you said. It's about meticulously sifting through that data, analyzing it, and understanding what it reveals about the target's existing vulnerabilities.
Okay.
From there, you begin to build a coherent and hopefully effective hacking strategy. We're hunting for Horizon Innovations' weaknesses, the chinks in their digital armor, so to speak. In this information hunt, it typically covers three main categories: organizational, network, and system information.
So if we're playing digital detective, what specific types of clues are we looking for under each of those categories? What kind of puzzle pieces are we trying to find for, say, Horizon Innovations?
Good question. For organization information, we're digging deep, looking into their public persona and their internal structure as much as possible from the outside. This includes things like employee details, names, contact information, job titles, maybe even work experience.
Oh, wow, okay.
Also physical addresses, branch locations, details about their partners, the web technologies they publicly claim to use, recent news articles, press releases, legal documents, patents, trademarks, all that stuff.
Right.
Imagine finding a press release where Horizon Innovations boasts about a new hire, maybe Sarah Chen, in their advanced AI research division. Knowing Sarah's role and her recent publications immediately gives an attacker a valuable lead. They could craft a highly tailored social engineering attack.
How so?
Well, maybe impersonating a colleague from a university she previously collaborated with. You see, this isn't just data, it's context for a targeted approach.
That's a powerful point. It's not just what they found, but how it connects to potential vulnerabilities and, the human elements.
Precisely. Next, we move to network information. This is crucial for mapping Horizon Innovations' digital landscape. This covers their domain and subdomain names, their network blocks, the overall network topology, identifying trusted routers and firewalls, the IP addresses of reachable systems whose records, DNS records.
Okay.
Think of Horizon Innovations' network block as a digital neighborhood. Through footprinting, you're trying to map out every house and street in that neighborhood, identifying who lives where, what kind of security they appear to have, and where the most likely entry points might be.
Right.
It gives you a sense of their entire digital perimeter before you even approach it.
And then system information gets even more granular, right? What specific technical details are on that wish list?
Indeed. Yeah, more technical. Here, we're looking to identify the web server's operating system, maybe the physical location of those web servers, any publicly available email addresses, and sometimes, believe it or not, even leaked usernames and passwords that might be floating around. Yeah. For example, if a cached web page, or maybe an old job posting, reveals that Horizon Innovations is running an outdated server OS, say Windows Server 2008, well, that immediately signals a potential treasure trove of known vulnerabilities that an attacker could pretty easily exploit.
Wow.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this kind of system-level information forms the very foundation for identifying the weakest technical link in an organization's security perimeter.
So, given the vast amount of information that can be gathered, how does an ethical hacker actually go about collecting it? Are there different modes of operation, or is it all like direct interaction?
That's a great question, and it brings us to the two fundamental types of reconnaissance, passive and active. You can think of passive footprinting as being like observing Horizon Innovations from afar.
Okay.
Reading their public reports, scrolling through their social media without liking or commenting, maybe even just driving past their office, metaphorically speaking.
Right.
You're gathering information without direct interaction with the target. No traffic is sent to Horizon Innovations servers from your host or, any anonymous host you might use. It primarily involves open source intelligence or OSINT gathering,
E6, right.
leveraging proprietary databases, paid services, even sharing intelligence with partner organizations sometimes. The challenge here is to remain completely undetected, relying mostly on archived and publicly stored information. So, using Google or browsing social media profiles without logging in and just observing, that falls under this category. It's subtle, but incredibly effective.
And then there's the more direct approach, active footprinting. I'm guessing that's like making a direct phone call to their customer service with a very specific probing query, or even, I don't know, trying a few doors digitally.
That's a very apt analogy, actually. Yeah. Active footprinting involves gathering information with direct interaction with the target. In this scenario, Horizon Innovations may recognize the ongoing information gathering activity because you are overtly interacting with their network or systems.
Okay, so it's riskier in terms of detection.
It can be, yes. Methods include DNS interrogation, which is essentially asking their DNS servers for information directly, as well as social engineering, network or port scanning, and user and service enumeration. This approach naturally requires more preparation and care, as it leaves traces that could potentially alert Horizon Innovations to your activities. This raises an important question, though. How much information are organizations like Horizon Innovations inadvertently leaving out in the open, even without direct probing?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? So once this information is gathered, maybe actively, maybe passively, what does this all mean for Horizon Innovations if it falls into the wrong hands? What are the very real threats posed by effective footprinting?
Oh, the threats are significant.
Yeah.
And multifaceted. They can potentially cause substantial damage long before any traditional hacking even occurs. Firstly, there's social engineering. We touched on this. By gathering crucial information about Horizon Innovations employees, their names, roles, even personal interests perhaps gleaned from social media, attackers can craft highly convincing pretexts. For example, an attacker could use internal company structure, learned through footprinting, to craft a convincing phishing email. Maybe impersonating a manager to request sensitive data from an unaware employee.
Right.
They're not intruding technically at first, but rather manipulating through persuasion.
Which often is far more effective than any zero-day exploit, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. Human vulnerability is often the easiest path. Then we have system and network attacks. With gathered configuration details, knowledge of operating systems, and identified vulnerabilities, attackers can meticulously plan and execute exploits to gain control over target systems or even the entire network. This moves beyond social manipulation to direct technical intrusion, leveraging that blueprint created during footprinting.
Okay.
Information leakage is another major threat. If sensitive data, even seemingly innocuous details like an internal naming convention, falls into attacker hands, it can be directly used for attacks or even sold for monetary benefit on underground forums.
And it often snowballs from there, doesn't it? One small piece of information can open the floodgates.
It definitely does. This can quickly lead to privacy loss. Hackers might escalate privileges to admin levels, compromising the privacy of the entire organization and its personnel, revealing personal data of employees and customers.
Scary stuff.
Yeah. And a particularly insidious threat is corporate espionage. Competitors can use publicly available information, say patent details filed by Horizon Innovations, or hiring announcements revealing a new product line, to fast-track their own product development, alter prices, and undermine Horizon Innovations' market position. Imagine a competitor finding a leaked internal document through footprinting that details an upcoming product's features, allowing them to release a similar product just weeks earlier.
Ouch, that's damaging.
Very. And finally, all of these threats can culminate in significant business loss, with direct financial impacts on organizations, especially online businesses and e-commerce platforms. The initial information gathering is often the spark that ignites, well, billions of dollars lost each year due to malicious attacks.
It's incredible how much damage can be done before any actual hacking even begins. And just to reiterate, OSINT, which you mentioned earlier, stands for Open Source Intelligence, correct?
That's right, OSINT. Any information gathered from publicly available sources. It's a cornerstone of effective passive footprinting.
Okay, now that we understand what footprinting is and why it's so incredibly important and potentially dangerous, let's talk about the how. This module, Module 2, lays out a clear, structured methodology, doesn't it? A procedure for systematically collecting information about a target organization like Horizon Innovations.
It does.
This isn't random guesswork. It's about diligently collecting everything from URLs and physical locations to establishment details, employee numbers, specific domain ranges, and contact information, all from publicly accessible sources.
It's about moving from a general understanding to a highly detailed security profile blueprint. The systematic nature is key. Attackers, and by extension ethical hackers, collect this information from a diverse array of publicly accessible sources. Search engines, social networking sites, WHOIS databases, and many more. Here's where it gets really interesting. The sheer variety of techniques available to an ethical hacker for this crucial first step.
When most of us think about gathering information online, our first thought instantly goes to Google, maybe Bing, or Yahoo. And for good reason. These are incredibly powerful tools, but ethical hackers use them in ways most of us never even imagine. It's far more than just typing a company name and hitting enter, right?
That's absolutely correct. Search engines are foundational for extracting critical details. They operate using automated software, crawlers, which continuously scan active websites and add the retrieved results to a massive index. When you query this index, you get a list of search engine results pages, or SRPs, ranked by relevance. From these results, an ethical hacker can harvest a wealth of information about Horizon Innovations, their technology platforms, employee details, obscure login pages maybe, internet portals, critical contact information. Imagine searching for Horizon Innovations careers and finding job postings that list their current software engineering roles, which then inadvertently reveals their entire technology stack, maybe specific database types like MongoDB, or even obscure programming languages like Go. That's invaluable intelligence.
But it's not just about simple searches. There's a whole art to it, often called Google hacking or Google dorking. This is where a simple search engine becomes like a precision instrument.
Absolutely. Advanced Google hacking techniques, more commonly known as Google dorking, involve using specialized Google search operators to create complex queries that extract sensitive or hidden information. The purpose isn't just to find general information, but to pinpoint vulnerable targets, locate specific strings of text that should never be public, and meticulously filter and sort vast amounts of data. For instance, if you're trying to find misconfigured files on a server, a standard search just isn't going to cut it.
Can you give us a taste of some of these key operators and how they work? Maybe just a few examples without getting lost in, every single one.
Certainly. Let's look at a few of the most powerful ones. The site.operator is incredibly useful. It restricts searches to a given domain. So gamesite.www.horizoninnovations.com would only show results about games from that specific domain.
Got it.
File type is essential for searching for specific file extensions. For instance, annual report, filetub.pdf site.horizoninnovations.com would find all PDF annual reports on Horizon Innovations' website. It's in title. Restricts results to pages with a specific keyword in the title, such as internal policy in title.confidential. That might find pages with confidential in the title and mentioning internal policy.
Okay.
In URL restricts results to pages with the keyword in the URL, which can reveal specific directories or applications. And cache can display a stored web page from Google's cache, often revealing content that might have since been removed from the live site.
Wow, okay.
These give you a taste of the precision available. The full list is quite extensive, obviously covered in the study guide. This is exactly how a hacker can detect vulnerable websites or web servers, locate private and sensitive information like error messages, password files, sensitive directories, logon portals, and even exposed IoT control panels. It also helps identify potential targets for specific attacks.
It's amazing what you can uncover if you know how to ask the right questions. And I hear AI is even making this process more efficient now.
It is. Yeah, dramatically so in some cases. Attackers are increasingly leveraging AI-powered tools like ChatGPT and similar generative AI technologies to automate these tasks. They do this by generating appropriate, sophisticated prompts.
Like how?
For instance, you could prompt an AI with something like, use the file type search operator to obtain PDF files on the target website, horizoninnovations.com, and store the result in a text file. The AI could then help construct a shell command that essentially tells your system, go to Google, search for this specific pattern on this website, extract all the web links it finds, filter those links, and then save them to a file for later analysis.
So it automates the legwork.
Exactly. It automates the scraping of search results, filtering for URLs, and saving them. The specific command, like one using tools like links, grep, and cut, can be quite intricate. But the key insight is AI automating the creation and execution of these deep search queries.
Beyond just crafting these incredibly specific queries, there's even a whole database dedicated to these powerful search strings, isn't there?
That's right. We're talking about the Google Hacking Database, GHDB. It's an authoritative source for querying Google, focusing specifically on sensitive information inadvertently exposed on the web. These specialized queries are famously known as Google dorks, and they're actually a subset of ExploitDB.
So what kind of sensitive information can the GHDB help uncover? What are the big categories we're talking about?
It's pretty extensive. GHDB queries are categorized broadly into finding things like sensitive files, configuration files, database dumps, or log files that might contain usernames or passwords.
Right.
They also help identify vulnerable servers and applications, expose directories, and specific error messages that could reveal server configurations. You can also find queries designed to locate pages containing login portals for various devices and systems.
Like VPNs.
Exactly. For example, specific dorks can find VPN login portals. A query like integral.sslvpn login.shtml entitled user authentication specifically targets and finds such pages. An ethical hacker can even use searchploit, which is a command line tool, for offline GHDB searches. That's especially useful for air-gapped networks.
Okay.
And again, AI can help here, a prompt like, use the integral search operator to obtain Fortinet VPN login pages, could generate a command to fetch Google search results specifically for Fortinet VPN login pages, extracting and filtering the URLs.
So if Google is the search engine for general information, there's another one that's a search engine specifically for devices themselves. You mentioned it briefly, SHODAN.
Precisely. The SHODAN search engine is distinct because it's designed to search for connected devices rather than just web pages. We're talking routers, servers, Internet of Things, IoT devices, industrial control systems, you name it. Its purpose is to detect devices and networks with known vulnerabilities, pinpoint their geographical location, and identify who is using them. The profound insight with SHODAN isn't just what it finds, but how it exposes the pervasive security by default problem.
Meaning
Devices are connected with easily discoverable vulnerabilities, often default passwords, transforming mundane appliances into potential backdoors. For instance, a search in SHODAN for VoIP services might deliver thousands of results showing, say, VoIP servers from Italy with hundreds of open ports, indicating potential misconfigurations or vulnerabilities. This granular, device-centric view is invaluable for mapping out Horizon Innovation's exposed attack surface.
So it's not just about web pages. It's about anything with an IP address connected to the internet. But search engines aren't just Google and SHODAN. Are there many other specialized ones that offer unique insights?
There absolutely are. Beyond the major players, several other techniques contribute. Google Advanced Search, Advanced Image Search, and Reverse Image Search allow for more precise searching than basic queries. You can use these to find affiliations like Horizon Innovations partners or vendors, or to acquire images of specific targets, locations, or even employees. Reverse image search tools like TinyEye are excellent for tracking the original source and details of images, which can reveal a lot about a person or organization.
Yep.
Then we have video search engines like YouTube and Google Videos. Ethical hackers search for video content about Horizon Innovations, and then use tools like YouTube Metadata or YouTube Data Viewer to extract hidden information such as time, date, and thumbnails, which can sometimes contain surprising details about their offices or equipment. Meta search engines such as Startpage and Metager are also quite useful. These engines query multiple other search engines simultaneously, filtering out identical results to provide more comprehensive information. Crucially, they often enhance user privacy by hiding your IP address during the search. They can gather information from shopping sites, images, videos, blogs, and news from diverse sources.
I can see how that breadth of information is powerful, but what about older, less structured data sources like file servers?
That's where FTP search engines come in. File Transfer Protocol, or FTP servers, are often used to store large file archives and software,
Mhm.
and many are left unsecured or use default credentials.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Tools like Napalm FTP Indexer or specific Google dorks like site.in-title index of FTP can search these servers for critical files and directories. Imagine finding an unsecured FTP server belonging to Horizon Innovations, containing sensitive business strategies, tax documents, or even financial projections.
That would be a goldmine for an attacker.
Exactly, a treasure trove, giving them an almost internal view of the company's operations. Finally, for the world of connected devices, there are IoT search engines like SHODAN, which we just discussed, Senses, and Zoomeye. These crawl the internet for publicly accessible Internet of Things devices. We're talking about everything from SCADA systems,
SCADA.
supervisory control and data acquisition, systems that control industrial processes,
Got it.
to smart traffic control systems, factory automation, CCTV cameras. Many of these devices are unsecured or use default credentials, making them prime targets. Attackers can gather manufacturer details, geographical locations, IP addresses, host names, open ports. The real danger here is the potential to establish backdoors and launch further attacks, turning what seems like an innocuous smart thermostat into an entry point to Horizon Innovations' corporate network. IoT devices are a significant and often overlooked attack surface.
So we've covered how traditional and specialized search engines can be leveraged to find a wealth of information. But what happens when we need an even more targeted approach? Digging into specific types of online services that go beyond just a general search bar.
This is where internet research services become invaluable. We're looking at a diverse range of services, including people search engines, alerting services, financial information services, and even job sites.
Okay.
All of these, in their own unique ways, can provide critical infrastructure details, physical location data, and extensive employee details about a target organization like Horizon Innovations.
Let's start with mapping out the digital landscape of a company, specifically their domains and subdomains. That seems like a fundamental first step in understanding their online presence.
It absolutely is. Understanding Horizon Innovations' top-level domains, TLDs, and subdomains offers a significant advantage. TLDs represent the public face of an organization, often containing their history, services, and contact info. Subdomains, however, are often far more revealing.
How so?
They are frequently used for testing new technologies before deployment on the main site, or for specific departments or business units. Because they might be in a testing phase, these subdomains can be more vulnerable and might unintentionally expose sensitive data like source code, internal documents, or even private functions.
All right.
For instance, a subdomain like dev.horizoninnovations.com could inadvertently expose an entire development environment, or maybe a database backup that was never meant to be public.
How does an ethical hacker go about finding these subdomains then?
Well, methods include simple trial and error, leveraging standard search engines with specific queries, or using advanced Google dorks. A dork like site.horizoninnovations.com-in-url.www is a classic example. It searches the horizoninnovations.com domain, but excludes results with www in the URL, thus highlighting various subdomains. Several specialized tools exist for this as well. Netcraft provides internet security services and market share analysis, but it also lists all subdomains related to a target. DNS Dumpster is an online domain research tool specifically designed to discover hosts related to a domain, including subdomains, IP addresses, and DNS servers. Pentas Tools Find Subdomains is another online tool that identifies subdomains, their IP addresses, network info, HTTP servers, OS, tech stack used.
And AI can help here too, I assume.
Of course.
Yeah.
We can even use AI to automate this. For example, a prompt to ChatGPT like, discover all the subdomains of google.com using the dig command, could generate a complex command that first retrieves the name server NS records for a domain, then for each name server found, performs a DNS lookup to find the CNAME and AAA records, effectively revealing subdomains.
Yeah.
Another prompt, maybe use sublist30 to gather a list of subdomains of the target organization Horizon Innovations, would lead to a command like sublist3rd horizoninnovations.com deo horizon subdomains.txt, which specifically executes the sublister-r tool to enumerate subdomains for the target domain and save them neatly to a file.
That's incredibly thorough. But what if the information has been removed from the live web? Is it truly gone forever, or can a digital detective still uncover it?
Thankfully for ethical hackers, and often unfortunately for organizations trying to hide past mistakes, information is rarely truly gone. This is where archive.org, specifically the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, becomes an indispensable tool.
Ah, the Wayback Machine.
Exactly. It allows you to visit archived versions of websites going back years, sometimes decades. You can recover web pages, audio, video, images, text, even software, including content that was removed from the live site.
So deleting something doesn't mean it's gone.
Not necessarily. The real takeaway from the Wayback Machine is the permanence of digital data. Organizations might delete something, but for an ethical hacker, that's often just a signal to check the archives. It reveals that an organization's past mistakes can perpetually haunt their present security posture. Attackers often use this to find older, vulnerable versions of a web application or to unearth sensitive info that was once public but later taken down.
Right.
Tools like Photon can even automate the retrieval of these archived URLs. For instance, running photon.py.url of Horizon Innovations and AL3 NHT200 Wayback retrieves archive links efficiently.
Okay. Now let's shift from technical infrastructure to the human element. People leave a huge digital trail, and that can be a goldmine for an ethical hacker, right?
Absolutely. Footprinting through PeopleServe services and job sites is a critical aspect. PeopleServe services like Spokeo, Intellius, or Pipple can gather an astonishing amount of information. Names, addresses, contact details, dates of birth, photos, professions, family details, social profiles, property info, sometimes even criminal checks.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. Attackers can piece together company emails, personal emails, and potentially even hints towards bank or credit card details, making this highly beneficial for crafting social engineering attacks. Imagine an attacker finding an employee of Horizon Innovations' personal blog that, through seemingly innocuous posts, reveals details about their internal team structure, recent frustrations with a new software rollout, or upcoming projects. This paints a very human picture.
And the job sites, how do those factor in? They're meant to be professional, aren't they?
They are, but they're often inadvertently revealing. Job sites like Dice, LinkedIn, Glassdoor can leak an incredible amount of information about a company's internal IT environment.
Yeah.
Job postings for roles like network administrator or systems engineer at Horizon Innovations often detail the exact operating systems, software versions, hardware, network devices like specific firewall brands, internal server types, network appliances, hypervisors, and even the number of virtual machines a company uses.
Seriously, they list all that.
Sometimes, yes. For example, a job posting requiring experience with 3 Palo Alto firewalls and 40 VMware hypervisors and 1,600 VMs gives away critical infrastructure details. An attacker can use that to detect underlying vulnerabilities and focus their efforts.
Okay.
Employee resumes posted on these sites also reveal expertise, qualifications, and job history that can offer technical insights into past and present technologies used by the target organization.
We've looked at the surface web and even a bit into the deep archives, but there's a whole part of the internet that's deliberately hidden and requires specialized access.
That's right, and it leads us into dark web footprinting. To clarify the terms a bit, the surface web is what we access with regular browsers like Chrome. The indexed content search engines crawl. The deep web contains hidden, unindexed content like government databases or organizational information not crawled by basic search engines. And then there's the dark web, or darknet, which is a subset of the deep web, specifically designed for anonymous navigation using specialized tools like the Tor browser or Exonerator.
And what kind of information is lurking there that might pertain to Horizon Innovations, or any company, really?
Well, the dark web is unfortunately a common marketplace for the illicit trade and exposure of highly sensitive data. Things like credit card details, passport information, ID card details, medical records, social media account credentials, and social security numbers, SSNs.
So stolen data often ends up there.
Precisely. Accessing this information, if it relates to Horizon Innovations or its employees, can enable attackers to launch highly targeted and devastating attacks. The Tor browser, for instance, acts like a default VPN, bouncing your IP address through several servers to provide anonymity while accessing this hidden content.
Can you search the dark web effectively?
Yes. Attackers can even use advanced search parameters on the dark web to refine their searches. For instance, they can look for personal profiles using specific syntax on leaked data dumps. More specifically, for the dark web itself, queries like filetype.pdfsite.onionconfidential can find sensitive PDF documents on .onion sites. Or inurl.config, filetype.txt password might reveal passwords accidentally left in configuration files hosted there.
Moving back to more conventional but still critical technical details, understanding the software a company uses is a huge part of identifying vulnerabilities. But how do you even figure out their operating systems without directly interacting with them sometimes?
That's where determining the operating system, OS fingerprinting, comes into play. The primary purpose is to identify potential vulnerabilities associated with specific OS versions and to find effective exploits.
How do you do that passively?
Tools like Netcraft can identify all sites associated with Horizon Innovations domain and the operating system running at each, often just from analyzing web server responses. SHODAN, the device search engine we mentioned, is excellent for discovering connected devices and their OS, location, and even integrates with vulnerability databases like ExploitDB, Metasploit, CVE, Con vulnerabilities and exposures. It's a standard list of publicly known cybersecurity vulnerabilities.
Got it.
OSVDB, and Packet Storm. Senses is another powerful tool that monitors internet infrastructure, discovering unknown assets and providing a full view of exposed servers and devices, including their OS, IP addresses, protocols, and geolocation. Knowing Horizon Innovations uses an outdated Windows Server version, for example, immediately narrows down the attack vectors for an ethical hacker, suggesting a host of known exploits.
Okay. Beyond just technical details, sometimes you need to understand the bigger picture, what your target's competitors are doing. Is there an ethical way to do corporate spying or get intelligence on their market position?
Yes, absolutely. It's called competitive intelligence gathering, and it's done entirely ethically and legally. That's key. It's the process of identifying, gathering, analyzing, verifying, and using information about competitors from various resources, typically without interfering and being subtle.
So not hacking them.
Definitely not. Its purpose is to help organizations understand competitor actions, how they position their products, what customers say about their strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately help managers make strategic decisions. This isn't about stealing intellectual property via hacking. It's about understanding the external business environment through publicly available information, ensuring you're playing by the rules.
When did this process begin for a company like Horizon Innovations, and what kinds of sources does it draw from?
Well, it's an ongoing process that companies constantly engage in. It helps answer questions like, when did Horizon Innovations begin? How did it develop? Like their ad strategies, customer relationship management, who leads it, the decision makers, and where is it located? Branches, operations. Sources are often categorized as direct and indirect. Direct sources might involve, say, engaging with employees ethically at trade shows. Indirect approaches are more common for ethical hackers doing recon, drawing from Horizon Innovations company website, their employment ads, general search engines, press releases, annual reports, trade journals, patents and trademarks, like those from the USPTO.
USPTO?
United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Right.
Product catalogs, analyst reports, customer and vendor interviews, maybe published ones, legal databases like LexisNexis, business databases like D&B Hoovers, and financial filings with the SEC, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, via their ADGR database.
That's a vast amount of publicly available data. It's almost like crowdsourcing intelligence, in a way.
It is, yeah. Other information resource sites include MarketWatch and the Wall Street Transcript for insights into business plans, or Euromonitor and Experian for market analysis. For expert opinions, tools like SEMrush can reveal competitor keyword research and advertising spend, while SimilarWeb estimates website traffic and referral data. CEHv13 focuses on competitive analysis for pay-per-click, or PPC, research. This wealth of data allows you to understand Horizon Innovations' market standing and strategic moves, all from the outside.
We've covered a lot, but the internet is vast. What other nooks and crannies can ethical hackers explore for information about Horizon Innovations?
Oh, there are quite a few more. Finding the geographical location of the target is one. Tools like Google Earth, Google Maps, and Wikimapia allow attackers to pinpoint physical locations of Horizon Innovations offices or data centers.
And why is that useful beyond just knowing where they are?
This can be critical for planning non-technical attacks like dumpster diving, physical surveillance, social engineering, like calling a specific office pretending to be local IT, or identifying weak spots in a perimeter for unauthorized access like entrances, security cameras, or utility resources visible from the outside. Visualizing Horizon Innovations headquarters in 3D using Google Earth can reveal blind spots or easy access points for physical reconnaissance. Okay. Then there's gathering information from financial services. Sites like Google Finance or MSN Money provide stock quotes, charts, news, portfolios, market value, company profiles, and financial reports for publicly traded companies. This data can reveal Horizon Innovations' financial health, significant investments, or potential vulnerabilities if they rely heavily on specific web services for transactions. Business profile sites such as Open Corporates or Crunchbase offer business information for companies in a region. This includes Horizon Innovation's location, addresses, contact details, employee databases, department names, service types. More pieces of the puzzle. Exactly. Monitoring targets. Using alerts is another powerful technique. Services like Google Alerts or X Alerts, formerly Twitter Alerts, provide automated, up-to-date information via email or SMS. Whenever Horizon Innovations, a specific member of their team, a website or a project is mentioned online. This could reveal a new, unannounced project being discussed in a small blog, triggering an alert and exposing sensitive details before official announcements.
Sneaky.
We can be. Tracking online reputation through tools like Mention or Review Push is primarily for online reputation management, or ORM. However, attackers can leverage a company's efforts at transparency to track online conversations, search engine rankings, and social news, potentially uncovering information that companies are publicly discussing to manage their image, but which might be sensitive for an attacker. Finally, gathering information from groups, forums, and blogs like Google Groups or LinkedIn Groups is crucial. Employees of Horizon Innovations often share knowledge and inadvertently sensitive data in these spaces.
You mean like technical forums?
Exactly. Or even just company alumni groups. Attackers can register with fake profiles to join employee-specific groups, gathering full names, work residence details, contact numbers, personal organizational emails, and even pictures that reveal identifiable information about their workplace or upcoming projects. And a significant source, often overlooked, is public source code repositories such as GitHub or GitLab.
Ah, code repositories.
Yes. These repositories, including those for tools like Recon, can contain highly sensitive data, configuration files, private SSH keys, secure shell, and SSL keys, secure sockets, layer keys.
Okay.
Also source code, dynamic libraries, developer tools. This information can be leveraged for spear phishing attacks, social engineering, or even direct infrastructure attacks by exploiting security flaws or leaked confidential files within the code, offering a direct look into Horizon Innovation's development practices.
Okay, let's talk social media, a place for connecting with friends and family, sharing moments. But for an ethical hacker, it's an undeniable source of incredibly personal and therefore exploitable information. It's like a massive, constantly updated public diary almost, ripe for analysis.
It truly is a double-edged sword. It's important to clarify the distinction here, though. While social media footprinting can facilitate social engineering, the core activity here is gathering available information rather than actively tricking people into revealing it.
Right, it's passive observation mostly.
Often, yes. Many social networking sites make it remarkably easy to find people without even needing to register an account, simply by searching names, emails, or addresses of Horizon Innovations employees.
What kind of personal data are we talking about here that's so exploitable?
Oh, a wide array. Information gathered can include names, positions, organizations, current locations, educational qualifications, and extensive professional information like company phone numbers, email IDs, and even photos and videos. Imagine a LinkedIn profile of an Horizon Innovations employee that reveals not only their exact job title, but also their direct connection to a critical department. Or maybe even a casual post about a new, unannounced project feature they're excited about.
Yeah.
That single piece of information can be a powerful entry point for a social engineering attack, especially if an attacker then impersonates someone from within that specific project.
And LinkedIn, in particular, seems like a goldmine for professional information about a target company like Horizon Innovations.
It absolutely is. LinkedIn, being a professional networking site, openly hosts a wealth of personal and professional details. Attackers often use tools like the Harvester to specifically enumerate LinkedIn for employees and their job titles within a target company. Yeah, it's a popular OSINT tool. For example, a command like the harvester-d horizoninnovations.com /200-b LinkedIn would search the LinkedIn platform for up to 200 employees associated with horizoninnovations.com, providing their names and roles.
That's powerful for mapping org structures.
Invaluable for mapping out an organization's internal structure and identifying key personnel who might have access to sensitive systems.
Once you have names and companies, the next logical step for an attacker is often collecting email addresses. How do they go about harvesting email lists for Horizon Innovations?
Harvesting email lists is a crucial attack vector, mainly for launching social engineering and brute force attacks later. Tools like the Harvester again, and others like Email Spire, can collect publicly available email addresses by scouring search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and Baidu.
So the same tool can do both.
Yes, the harvester is versatile. A command like the harvester-d horizoninnovations.com-l200-b Baidu would extract up to 200 email addresses associated with horizoninnovations.com using Baidu as the data source this time. An AI can streamline this too. A prompt to ChatGPT such as, use the harvester to gather email accounts associated with horizoninnovations.com, limiting results to 200 and leveraging Baidu as a data source, could generate the command. The harvester-d horizoninnovations.com-200-b Baidu-f horizonmails.xml, saving results directly to an XML file for easy analysis.
Beyond individual profiles, understanding a company's overall social media presence can be very telling, right? About their public image and maybe internal workings.
That's very true. Analyzing a target's social media presence helps discover Horizon Innovation's most shared content, popular hashtags, and keywords, and track accounts and URLs that might reveal internal discussions or upcoming projects. Tools like BuzzSimo, Google Trends, SHODAN, or Ubersuggest are used for this. The information gleaned here, even if seemingly innocent, can be leveraged for highly effective phishing or social engineering campaigns, perhaps by impersonating a popular brand influencer or a customer support account associated with them.
Are there specific tools designed just for this kind of social media reconnaissance beyond the harvester?
Yes, there are. Tools for footprinting through social networking sites gather a wide range of sensitive information: dates of birth, educational qualifications, employment status, names of relatives, and even insights into business strategy, potential clients, and upcoming project plans relevant to Horizon Innovations. Sherlock is a prime example. It searches a vast number of social networking sites for a target username, providing full URLs to their profiles.
So it finds someone across multiple platforms.
Exactly. It allows an attacker to quickly locate a user across many platforms. Another tool, Social Searcher, offers real-time content search across social networks and provides deep analytics data, enabling the tracking of user profiles and postings. And, naturally, AI plays a role here too. A prompt like, use Sherlock to gather personal information about a key Horizon Innovations executive and save the result in recon2.txt, would execute the command Sherlock executive name output recon2, systematically collecting information about the individual across many social media platforms.
Okay, we've looked at the visible web, even the hidden parts, and the human element. Now let's talk about the foundational records of any internet presence, domain ownership. This seems like a critical piece of the puzzle for Horizon Innovations.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Who'sLookup is a query and response protocol used to query databases that store information about registered users or assignees of internet resources, like domain names, IP address blocks, or autonomous systems. It typically operates on port 43 TCP. These Who's databases are maintained by regional internet registries, RIRs, and contain public records about domain owners. The deep insight with Who's is realizing that while organizations might try to obscure their details, perhaps using privacy services, these fundamental registration records are often a treasure trove of static, yet highly variable information.
What kind of information does a Who's query typically return, assuming it's not fully redacted?
Well, a Who's query can reveal quite a lot. Domain name details, the registrar, contact details of the domain owner, including their name, administrative and technical contacts, the domain's name servers, the net range of IP addresses, creation, expiry, and last updated dates of the registration, the domain status, whether it's available, registered, suspended, and specific IP address information.
And how would attackers use that?
Attackers can use this to create network maps of an organization like Horizon Innovations, gather personal information for social engineering attempts on the administrative contact listed, or obtain internal network details if, say, an internal IP range is accidentally lifted in the record somewhere.
And you mentioned regional internet registries, or RIRs. Who are they? Can you list them?
Sure. The RIRs are key players in managing internet number resources globally. They include ARIN, American Registry for Internet Numbers, covering North America and parts of the Caribbean, AFRINIC, African Network Information Center for the African continent, AP, Asia Pacific Network Information Center serving the Asia Pacific region, RIPENCC, Rousseau IP, Europeans Network Coordination Center for Europe, the Middle East and Central Asia, and LALET, Latin American and Caribbean Network Information Center for Latin America and some Caribbean territories.
Okay, so they cover the globe.
Pretty much. And these registries operate with different data models for Who's. A thick Who stores complete information from all registrars directly in the RIR's database, providing a single point of truth. A thin Who simply stores the registrar's name in Who server, meaning you then have to query the registrar's specific Who server to get the full details. More steps involved. And decentralized who means multiple independent entities manage their own databases. Tools like whos.domaintools.com or www.tamlis.com can perform whos lookups. Even a tool like BatchIP Converter can provide country, state, city, phone, and ISP details, supporting both internationalized domain names, IDNs, and IPv6 addresses.
Once we have an IP address from a whos lookup, or maybe from somewhere else, we can often trace it to a geographical location, which can be surprisingly useful, right? I'm thinking about physical security here, not just digital.
Exactly. Finding IP geolocation information allows an attacker to obtain details such as the country, region or state, city, often with latitude and longitude coordinates, ZIP or postal code, time zone, connection speed, the ISP, Internet Service Provider or hosting company, domain name, IDD country code,
IDD.
International Direct Dialing country code,
Oh, okay.
area code, mobile carrier, and even elevation sometimes.
What's the value of knowing, say, Horizon Innovations server's physical location for an attacker? How does that help them?
This information is crucial for various nefarious purposes, unfortunately. It can be used for highly localized social engineering attacks, like spamming or phishing emails tailored to a specific region where Horizon Innovations has offices. It aids surveillance, allowing for real-world monitoring, and can even inform non-technical attacks, like physical dumpster diving near a target's known location, or hoaxing by acting as a technical expert familiar with the local infrastructure when calling someone. If an attacker can pinpoint the exact location, they might even try setting up a compromised web server nearby, or deploy malware specifically designed for that geographical area to gain unauthorized access. Tools like IP2 Location, IP Location Finder, or IP Address Geographical Location Finder are commonly used for this.
Okay, so the whos records tell us who owns a domain. Now let's look at the domain name system, or DNS, which tells us how that domain connects to everything else, essentially, the Internet's phone book, as it's often called. This feels like another crucial layer of understanding for an ethical hacker, mapping the entire digital nervous system of Horizon Innovations.
It is, absolutely. DNS footprinting is all about gathering information about a target organization's DNS servers, their DNS records, and the types of servers they use. This information is paramount for identifying individual hosts connected within the target network and ultimately for exploiting the target. The DNS zone data itself includes DNS domain names, computer names, and associated IP addresses.
So what do attackers do with that?
Attackers use this to determine key hosts, like mail servers, web servers, maybe even VPN gateways, and then, as we've discussed, can perform social engineering attacks to gather even more granular information. What's particularly concerning here is when a DNS server is configured to allow a DNS zone transfer.
What's that?
This is where a DNS server is misconfigured to allow anyone on the internet to request a full copy of its zone data, essentially its entire phone book of records for that domain.
That sounds bad.
It is. It's almost always a security misconfiguration, as it hands an attacker a complete blueprint of the domain's infrastructure, revealing potentially all internal host names and their corresponding IP addresses. A huge find.
Can you quickly detail some of the key DNS record types we should know about to understand this blueprint? What are we looking for?
Certainly. There are several vital record types that paint a picture of a domain setup. Records are fundamental, putting a host name to its IPv4 address. AAA records, Quad A, do the same for IPv6 addresses. MX records specify the mail servers responsible for a domain, indicating where Horizon Innovations receives its email.
Okay.
NS records indicate the name servers for a domain, showing who manages the DNS itself. CNAME records, canonical name, allow aliases to a host, so www.horizoninnovations.com might just be a CNAME pointing to server1.horizoninnovations.com. SOA records, start of authority, indicate the authority for a domain, providing administrative information like contact emails or refresh timers. SRV records are service records, specifying host names and port numbers for specific services like VoIP or instant messaging. PTR records, pointer records, map an IP address back to a host name used in reverse DNS lookups. HANA-OFA records contain host information like CPU type and operating system, though these are less common now but can be highly revealing if found. And TXT records are unstructured text records, often used for various purposes like SBF or DCAM email authentication, or sometimes even just arbitrary notes left by admins.
Okay, that's quite a list. So how do we actually go about extracting all this crucial information from the DNS for Horizon Innovations? What are the tools involved in this digital interrogation?
Right, ethical hackers use various DNS interrogation tools. These tools help extract IP ranges and obtain DNS information. especially, as I mentioned, if the target network allows unauthorized DNS zone transfers, which is a significant vulnerability. When a DNS server is queried, it responds with a record structure containing all this information. Tools like security trails offer advanced DNS enumeration, creating a comprehensive DNS map and revealing current and historical records, AAA, NS, MX, SOA, TXT, even brute-forcing subdomains.
Okay.
Then there's Fierce, a well-known DNS reconnaissance tool specifically designed for scanning and collecting information, enumerating subdomains, and identifying non-contiguous IP spaces.
Can you show how Fierce might be used?
Sure. A basic scan is just fierce domain horizoninnovations.com. You can scan for specific subdomains like fierce domain horizoninnovations.com, subdomains write admin mail. To scan domains near discovered records, you might use fierce domain horizoninnovations.com, subdomains mail traverse 10. The traverse 10 tells Fierce to search for contiguous IP blocks within a range of 10 around found IPs. You can also attempt HTTP connections on discovered domains with Connect, or perform a full detailed scan with fierce domain horizoninnovations.com wide. It's quite flexible.
And can AI assist with DNS lookups as well, making this process even more streamlined? Seems like a theme here.
It is, yeah. AI can enhance and automate these tasks. For instance, prompting ChatGPT with install and use DNSRecon to perform DNS enumeration on the target domain, www.horizoninnovations.com, could lead to a shell command like sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get install -y DNSRecon and a DNSRecon-d horizoninnovations.com-dstd.
Write that down.
Sure. Sudo apt-get update first updates the package lists using the advanced package tool, apt-get. Then sudo apt-get install -y DNSRecon installs the DNSRecon tool. And finally, DNSRecon-u enter DNSinnovations.com-tstd runs DNSRecon to perform standard DNS enumeration on Horizon Innovations domain, giving you a full report of their DNS infrastructure.
We usually think of going from a domain name to an IP address, but what if you only have an IP address for Horizon Innovations and want to know the domain associated with it? Can we reverse the lookup?
Absolutely. That's called a reverse DNS lookup. While a standard DNS lookup finds the IP for a domain name, a reverse DNS lookup does the opposite. It finds the domain name associated with a given IP address by querying DNS PTR records.
PTR, pointer record, right?
Exactly. PPR is the pointer record. Attackers perform this on IP ranges to locate these PTR records, which can reveal internal host names or systems that aren't directly exposed via forward DNS. Tools like DNSRecon, various online reverse lookup tools like the one on mxtoolbox.com, Reconnaissance, and others are used for this. For example, with DNSRecon, you could run DNSRecon manus r162.241.216.0162.100.241.216.255. The score option specifies the range of IP addresses for a brute force reverse lookup, revealing any domains or hosts associated with those IPs. mxtoolbox.com's reverse lookup tool simply takes an IP and locates its PTR record if one exists.
Okay, beyond DNS, we need to map out the actual network ranges and understand how data flows through it. This feels like a deeper dive into Horizon Innovations' core infrastructure.
It is. The next step is often locating the network range. The purpose here is to identify the internal network structure, the overall network range, subnet masks, topology, access control devices, and the operating systems used within that target network. Attackers often seek out private IP address blocks, which are reserved by INA.
INA.
Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. They manage global IP addressing.
Got it.
These private blocks include 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255, the 108 prefix, 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255, the 172.162.2 prefix, and 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.05 on grain ground part Q encoded to the 192.168 on 6 prefix. But knowing them means you've successfully mapped part of their internal private network.
How do they uncover these ranges since they're private and shouldn't be on the public internet?
Well, one common method is to use the ARN Who's database or the relevant RIR's database. By inputting a server's public IP address obtained from earlier Who's footprinting into the ARN search tool.
ARN being the American Registry for Internet Numbers.
Correct. An attacker can sometimes obtain the broader network range associated with that public IP, which might hint at internal addressing schemes used by Horizon Innovations. Also, improperly configured DNS servers can inadvertently reveal lists of internal machines. And tracing a route to a machine, which we'll discuss next, can sometimes expose the internal IP address of a gateway, which is a significant find.
Okay.
This information helps piece together how Horizon Innovations network is structured, which machines are active, and what kind of operating systems might be in play internally.
So we know the potential network range. How do we figure out the actual route data takes to get there, hop by hop, across the internet?
That's where traceroute comes in. Its purpose is to find the exact path or route that packets travel to a target host. It's also crucial for testing against potential man-in-the-middle attacks.
MITM.
Right, MITM
Yeah.
attacks, where an attacker might be intercepting communication along the path. Traceroute works on the concept of the ICMP protocol,
ICMP.
Internet Control Message Protocol, and it exploits the time-to-live TTL field in the IP header.
TTL.
Each router that a packet passes through decrements the TTL count. When the TTL reaches 0, the router discards the packet and sends an ICMP time-exceeded error message back to the originator. This process reveals the IP address, sometimes the DNS name, network affiliation, and round-trip time of each intermediate router, hop by hop, creating a digital roadmap to Horizon Innovations servers.
Are there different types of traceroute? I imagine some networks might try to block the standard versions for security.
Yes, that's a good point. Windows operating systems typically use ICMP traceroute with a tracer command, for example, tracer 216.239.36.0. However, many network devices are configured to block ICMP messages, as you said. In such cases, ethical hackers use TCP traceroute on linux.sudo tcp traceroute www.horizoninnovations.com, or UDP traceroute, which is actually the default on Linux, traceroute www.horizoninnovations.com. These are sometimes called layer 4 traceroutes and often bypass those ICMP blocks by using different protocols.
And AI again. Can it help here?
It can certainly generate the command. A prompt like perform network trace routing to discover the routers on the path to a target host, www.horizoninnovations.com, would lead to the command traceroute, www.horizoninnovations.com. It simplifies remembering the syntax.
And once you have these traceroute results, how do you make sense of them? It sounds like just a list of IP addresses and times.
That's where traceroute analysis becomes powerful. By compiling multiple traceroute results, maybe to different servers within Horizon Innovations network, an attacker can identify the IP addresses of intermediate devices like routers and firewalls within their network perimeter.
How does that work?
For example, if several traceroutes to different internal web servers consistently show second to last hop is 1.0.0.0.1 for some servers, and third to last hop is 1.0.0.5 seros for others, you can start building a picture of the network topology. You might infer that 1.0.0.1 is an internal router, maybe 1.0.0.5 is a firewall, and other IPs are web or mail servers located perhaps in a DMZ.
Demilitarized zone.
Exactly, a Bucker network. This detailed mapping helps identify the target network's internal structure and potential bypass routes, essentially creating a functional diagram of their network zones, like a blueprint of a secure facility. #recap.
Wow, what a journey through the world of footprinting and reconnaissance for our fictional Horizon Innovations. We've covered an incredible amount of ground today, starting from the foundational concepts right through to, well, some pretty advanced techniques using search engines, whos, DNS, social media. It's a lot. It's clear that the volume and sensitivity of information available about any target can be, frankly, astonishing. So what does this all mean for you as an ethical hacker, or maybe just someone trying to understand cybersecurity better?
Yeah, I think the primary takeaway is the absolute importance of a methodical approach to information gathering. This isn't just a random search, right? It's a systematic process that uncovers the very blueprint of an organization's security posture. It's crucial to understand the dual nature of these techniques. They are used by malicious attackers to find vulnerabilities, but also critically by ethical hackers to identify and fortify defenses.
Right, the offense informs the defense.
Exactly. We've explored the clear distinctions between passive and active reconnaissance and how each plays a vital role in building that comprehensive security profile. And remember, every single piece of information, no matter how small it may seem initially, whether it's an old PDF from the Wayback Machine or a job posting revealing their tech stack, can contribute to finding the weakest link in an organization's security perimeter. Remembering the threats we outlined earlier, like social engineering and corporate espionage, helps us understand the critical impact of effective or ineffective information management. #outro.
That's all for this deep dive into footprinting and reconnaissance. What a mind-opening session. Really shows how much is out there. Before we go, here's maybe a provocative thought for you. After today's deep dive, think about your own digital footprint. How much information are you or the organizations you interact with inadvertently leaving out there for the world to find? In the age of information, understanding what's publicly accessible isn't just a hacker's skill, it's a fundamental aspect of digital literacy and defense for everyone. Here's where it gets really interesting. The next time you type something into a search engine, you might just be doing a little footprinting of your own without even realizing the full extent of it.
That's a great point. The lesson from footprinting and reconnaissance is clear. Knowledge is power, and in cybersecurity, sometimes the most powerful insights come from simply looking and truly understanding what's already in plain sight.
Well said. That's all for this deep dive. Join us next time for another journey into the world of ethical hacking.